So the conveyor and the splitter is tied together with a pintle hitch. And you can see right here the conveyor stopped. And as we're splitting wood, the split rounds actually bound up on the cleats and the chain and putting a bunch of tension on it. So we've talked after this point, we've learned that if the conveyor stopped, we need to stop splitting, or we need to hand toss the splits onto the conveyor. And then here shortly, you'll see Susie. She'll turn the conveyor back on. But in the future, one person needs to go help their mother or my wife, or we need to just stop and load the log lifts and then just take a breather for a minute, because as much as people say the Easton maids are tough, I don't want to get to the point where I'm breaking or tearing something up, and I don't think it's worth it. So we've talked about this, and I just wanted to point out that occasionally you might see the conveyor stop, and we need to stop splitting because the 2228 just does not care. It just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. Coming up here, you can see me trying to get my wife's attention. I send Buddy over there to help her. She was moving totes around, and I sent him over there to help her. You also see me trying to get the wood out of the 12 way. I'm going to switch it out to the 6 way. There's some wood coming up that doesn't go through the 12 way very well, and you can see some of this wood is just creating a bunch of scrap. But that's kind of what's going on here is I'm trying to clean out all the pieces. And I forgot to mention that we're all wearing hearing protection of some sort or noise canceling headphones, so sometimes it's very difficult to get the other person's attention. We've only done this a few times, but here I'm telling buddy, just have patience with me. I will get it in there. You don't have to force it in there. Just give me a little bit of time. Let me try to ease the controls, and I could walk that wedge right in there. He was trying to manhandle it. He was fighting me. I couldn't tell exactly what I was doing. But we'll get a hang of it here in the future. The more we do it, the more routine it will be, and we'll be able to communicate what needs to happen.
Doesn't like that wood.
Like I mentioned before, sometimes it's hard to hear each other or understand what one another wants. I'm trying to get him to turn the conveyor on, and he's thinking I want the tray cleared or bigger splits pulled back. But I finally was able to get his attention, and he got the conveyor on. So, like you just seen, the GoPro battery died. So, up until this point in editing, I've been able to be roughly close of real time, but for some odd reason, I lost the GoPro, and then the other camera I was using got put away for a little bit. I think Susie had to go in for a minute. So I'm down to one camera. But I also wanted to point out that I had totes 3 and 4 on the dock before she went to go pick it up. But she, as you just seen a blip of her grabbing another empty tote. So we weren't like 100% accurate of how long it took to split a cord. But if you come back for the next episode, you'll find out how much we split in 2.5 hours. And granted, this isn't cutting and splitting, and it's not accurate because we ended up swapping from the 12 to the 6-way, and we did a little bit of other things, but we appreciate all the new subscribers, the people commenting, and the shares, and remember who you are and what you stand for. We're going to end this one right here, and I'll have one more episode. It'll be a little bit off compared to the other ones I've done previously. It's just since I've lost camera footage of batteries dying or being set down for a little bit, but we'll have one more part of this. Thanks for watching.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.